So this video is going to be a bit different from the usual. I don't have a specific topic that I'm going to cover. Instead, there are a few things I wanted to talk about. So if you want to listen to whatever I'm going to talk about, I'll talk about that in a second. You can just watch the video. Otherwise, I added a time lapse in the background of a speed sculpt that I did a few hours ago. It took me 1 hour and 34 minutes to do. So let's just say 1 hour and 30 minutes to keep things clean. And yeah, you can just mute the video, put your own music, sit back, relax, get your popcorn or whatever you're gonna do and enjoy.
Welcome to Yan Sculpt's podcast. This is your host Yan, and in this episode we're gonna be talking about it's not a podcast, I'm joking. I've always wanted to say that though, as if I own a podcast, but I don't. Anyways, never put a microphone in front of me, because if you put a microphone in front of me and tell me to talk about whatever, I'll probably talk about whatever. With great power comes let's stop right there. Don't want to get the video to get copyrighted. Anyways, hey, how you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good. I was in Poland a week ago, and that was awesome. So I went to Warsaw. I don't really know how to pronounce that. It's pronounced differently in every language. But yeah, anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've been there, and I went with a few friends. We were celebrating the birthday of two of my friends, and it was pretty dope, really. Honestly, I should go back there though. And I plan to, but I want to visit other places as well. So back since a week. I was actually really sick during the trip. I did have a lot of fun though, nonetheless, but I was still sick when I got back, so it took me a while to kind of get back on my feet, Anyways, so I'm back and I'm ready to make videos again. This is the first one after the vacation, and let's talk about what's going on in the background. So in the background, this is a speed sculpt that I did. It took me an hour and a half, more or less. And first of all, don't get discouraged if that's not the kind of result you get with your speed sculpts at first, because that's not even the kind of results I got a month ago. So, I mean, that's after a few years of experience, right? But yeah, it's all about being patient and working your ass off, basically. To be honest, really, it just sums up to that. Anyways, so if you didn't watch my last video, you should. It's called Why You Should Speed Sculpt Every Single Day. What a title, I know. But seriously, go watch it, maybe after this video, because views and stuff, but I'll add a link in the description below. And I've been getting some of your results. You guys been sending me that on, I don't know, Twitter, Instagram and stuff, and I actually retweeted one of them on Twitter. Someone sent me the results on the first day of speed sculpting and on the 10th day of speed sculpting, and wow, I mean, you can see the improvement right away. I'm really happy I put out that video on the channel. Put out, is that how you say it? You don't say it that way. I can't even speak anymore. Well, I'm glad I uploaded that video. Let's just put it that way. Because, it seems to be helping a lot of people. I know how powerful speed art is and how fast it helps you improve. I've been doing a lot of daily drawings since July 2017. So I have a pretty good idea of what daily arts in general will do to your work or to your skills. And I explained in that video why speed sculpts is specifically a very good way to improve. But just I wanted to clarify something, because I read all of your comments, which I really appreciate, by the way. And you can see that by when you check the comment section, you'll see that I pretty much answer everybody. And the reason I do that is, well, obviously if you have a question, then I'm answering your question and everything. But I reply all comments really, and it's just my way of showing you that I appreciate the time you take to actually comment, because I know in this generation we're always in a hurry, right? We don't have time to do that, right? But some of you do, and actually a lot of you do, and it's really, really cool. So if you have anything you want to say, just leave a comment below. I'll answer you. Anyways, the reason I'm saying this is because I read all of your comments on that video, and a few of you guys seem to have misunderstood the message I was trying to send. It's really the minority, I'd say, because it was like 2-3 comments on it. I can't remember, but I thought I'll clarify that anyways. I feel like you misunderstood, and you think that, or that the few people that commented basically thought that I was saying you should only speed sculpt every day. And I specifically say in the video, set aside time for speed sculpting. Maybe I wasn't that clear, so maybe it's my fault. But basically, I'm saying to add that to your daily practice, right? Don't only speed sculpt. There are other ways to practice, like I don't know, maybe reading from an anatomy book, studying, or doing focused projects, like projects where you spend a lot of time. So quite the contrary of speed sculpts on for example, one character, and trying to, I don't know, try to see how the proportions work, or how to modify anatomy, whatever you're trying to learn, right? Point here is, when you want to learn, you have to take advantage of every method out there to get you to your goal as fast as possible, right? And I'm not saying as fast as possible to put pressure on you. What I'm trying to say is there's just a lot of things to learn, and the faster you get there, the more you're gonna learn, basically, in a way. Anyways, so yeah, utilize every method out there. Don't just speed sculpt. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I do believe that speed sculpting, or speed art in general, is a very powerful method to improve really fast. And I can already see it with a lot of your results. Like, it's not only something that works for me, it works for a lot of people out there. So yeah, go check out that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'll do other videos on different ways of practicing, such as focus studies and that kind of stuff. But I didn't cover these subjects yet. So that video was specifically about speed sculpting. But yeah, again, just, put aside time for that, but don't just do that, do a lot of different stuff. So let's say you have 5 to 6 hours of free time for your art, then I don't know, you can do 2 to 3 hours of speed sculpting, and then you can do 3 hours of whatever project you're working on. Or, maybe you want to put more time on the focus project. So 4 hours on the project, 2 hours on speed sculpting, or maybe 1 hour on speed sculpting and 5 hours on your project. I don't know. It's really up to you to kind of manage your schedule. I can't do that for you. But yeah, I mean, if I had 6 hours, I'd probably do 2 hours at least of speed sculpting, at least. I'd probably even go up to 3 hours, because it's a real powerful way to improve real fast. All right, so I kind of got off track. Let's get back to what's going on in the background. So yeah, it's the first speed sculpt that I'm doing after getting back from Poland. I'm basically preparing for a daily speed sculpt kind of thing, right? Because I talk about doing speed sculpts on a daily basis and why you should do it and everything, but I don't do it on a daily basis. Ironic, right? I do daily art. All right, I draw every day. Since July 2017, that's been the case. I do focus projects, long sculpts for the channel, but here's the thing. From time to time, I feel like my skills, I'm not improving much in sculpting, or I feel like I'm a bit rusty, or that kind of thing. And what I do is I do speed sculpting for a few days in a row, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks. And when I do that, every single time, my skills, they just skyrocket. It's amazing. I start feeling more comfortable, and my skills really improve and that kind of stuff, which is one of the reasons I made that video. But anyways, I thought, since I told you guys that basically you should speed sculpt every single day, maybe I should listen to my own advice and do the same thing, right? It's a bit more complicated though. It will really depend on you, but for my schedule it's a bit complicated, because I already have a lot of daily habits other than drawing that I do, right? And I don't want to neglect any of these habits and just to start speed sculpting every single day. Instead, I want to kind of creep it in my daily habits, if that makes sense. So I thought I'll talk about that, because I'm gonna give you some tips on how to start a daily habit, I guess, in this video real quick, and tell you how I'm going to do it. Especially if you have a hectic schedule, because again, since I read all of your comments on that video, I know a lot of you talked about how you have a lot of things going on, like, I don't know, maybe you're a student, difficult college, university, maybe you have kids, whatever it is, a lot of us have a lot of things going on, which I completely understand. So here's what I'm planning to do for me, right? For daily habits, I realized that it's always good to kind of ease in instead of just going crazy. So if you've never done any kind of daily habits, don't just jump in and start putting 3 hours of daily speed sculpting. That might discourage you, burn you out. It could do a lot of bad stuff, right? So instead, start with a 30-minute speed sculpt, 1 hour speed sculpt, you know, especially if you're a beginner, right? If you're a bit more experienced, you have other daily habits, you know how it works. You could maybe start 1 hour and a half and start with, I don't know, maybe even 2 hours. Depends on you. But anyways, ease in, take it easy, right? You can even try to plan things out a day or two before you start speed sculpting. That's basically what I did. So yeah, you could prepare your files on your computer, your Blender file for an easy startup, right? So instead of having to open the Blender file every time and kind of prepare the scene to sculpt, you create one file and you save it, and then you can always open it and start speed sculpting. There are a lot of things you can do to basically prepare yourself for speed sculpting or for speed art in general. It'll differ depending on what you're doing. I wanted to make a video on that to show you exactly how I do it with Blender, right? How to set up your Blender scene. And I had it all planned out before the vacation, but I decided to put it aside and actually do daily speed sculpting for a while. And then maybe that way I'll learn new techniques, I'll come up with new stuff and make a better video about this. So hopefully this is something I'll make in the future. But anyways, yeah, so I'm planning to do daily speed sculpting. Let's see how it works. I'm planning to do, I don't know, maybe 1 hour at least a day. This one was 1 hour and a half, but I won't always have the time to do it for an hour and a half. And hopefully with time, you know, as I said, you ease in, but with time you can increase the time, right? So when you start feeling more comfortable doing what you're doing and it becomes a second nature habit, whatever, you can basically start increasing the time, right? You go from 30 minutes to an hour in a week or two, and then maybe to 2 hours, 3 hours, as long as you're making it daily, you're keeping the habit. Because the thing about habit is it only works if it's actually a habit. If you break it, like you do, I don't know, 5 days in a row, and then the 6th day you don't do it, and then you try to do it for another 7 days, and it becomes a mess. You always have to force yourself to do the work. And the whole point of making a habit is that at a point you don't have to force yourself. You know, it becomes second nature, really easy to do. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers it up for the few tips that I wanted to share on this video. Again, this is a subject I'll cover later in the future. Maybe make a proper video on it and I'll just have a microphone and talk about whatever, because yeah, I feel like I'm getting off track a lot. Anyways, what else can we talk about? Right, how can I forget this? I didn't forget it, actually. I'm kidding. I have a list of things I want to talk about that I put in front of me. So yeah, just the titles though, just so that I don't forget. Anyways, 100,000 subscribers. Not yet, but soon. And I'm excited, even if I don't sound excited, because I'm in this really weird situation where I'm really close to the microphone and I'm talking as if I'm whispering to the microphone. So if I sound weird in this video, that's why. And I don't really know why I'm doing that, but I'm doing that anyways. So I'm super excited for the 100,000 subscribers. Also, I'm not really the type of person that kind of shouts things when I'm excited. It's kind of weird. I know some people are good at doing that, which I'm kind of jealous about. You know, I wish I could do that, but I can't. Yeah. So anyways, excited and everything. Actually, a few weeks ago, I posted on Instagram I posted about this, and I said that, you know, I wanted you guys, my fans or my audience, to basically post sketches of characters, and when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'll prepare a video where I will sculpt one of these sketches. So basically sculpting a fan sketch. The idea itself is not original. I mean, I know other YouTubers have done that, where they draw a fan sketch, right? They redraw it or something. It's going to be different because I'm going to be sculpting a fan sketch, which might be the first on YouTube. Original. I don't know. I don't really care. Anyways, the reason I'm doing it is because I thought it was a perfect way of celebrating hitting 100,000 subscribers, because, you know, you guys are the subscribers, you know, so I got to celebrate it with you guys, right? So maybe doing something like this, I don't know. For me, it felt like the right way to celebrate 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, that's happening. You know, submissions are closed, by the way. It was a few weeks back. I picked my favorite ones. I took a screenshot of them. they're on Instagram, but I was afraid that, you know, maybe something goes wrong and then the hashtag goes out and the submissions disappear, and then I have to ask for it again, which would be weird. So I just took a screenshot of my favorite ones, and I'll be picking one soon, a winner, and then I'll prepare for the video. So no promises on when it will be posted, I don't know yet, but I'll probably pick a winner as soon as I hit 100,000 subscribers. At least that's what I plan to do. And we are currently at 98,000. So 2,000 more subscribers. Yeah, weird, really weird. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about tutorials. Actually, I'm gonna try and wrap this up real fast because I've been talking for a while and I don't like to make really long videos. Anyways, so I know a lot of you guys have been asking for new tutorials, and the thing is, no, you know, I don't like to see this channel as too focused on tutorials. That's the first thing, but that's not why I'm not doing tutorials. I actually have a lot planned for the channel. But the thing is, if you watched the last tutorial that I put up, which is, I think, how to 3D model for complete beginners in Blender 2.8, which is a funny video in my opinion, because, well, it's funny for me. I kind of did it to introduce, I did it specifically for people who never did 3D before. And I did it because I wanted to introduce you to the 3D world. And the funny part is, it feels like I kind of introduce you to the 3D world, and I'm like, you know, give you a sword, no pun intended, and tell you to fend for yourself after that. Like, yeah, that's 3D. Now, there's a million other things you gotta know about, but go figure it out. No, I'm kidding. If you actually check out my older videos, I have a lot of tutorials you can check out, but not on Blender 2.8. So anyways, the reason I'm not making tutorials right now, or I'm just keeping it for later, is because of that video. That's one of the main reasons, because in that video, you know, Blender 2.8 right now is in beta. It's not stable yet. And what happened with that video, which I was expecting, is that one small thing changed in the recent versions of Blender, and I've been getting a lot of comments on that. Like, people are lost, complete beginners. Like, veteran Blender users wouldn't have a problem, they'll figure out by themselves, but for a complete beginner, the slightest thing that changes will completely mess things up. Not true, actually, it's a very minor thing. People are still able to follow that tutorial and have no issues, but at a point in the tutorial, I basically scale the sword, a part of the sword, and I scale it with Alt S. So if you watched it, you might know what I'm talking about. And actually, I'll give you the solution right now. So when you scale it with Alt S instead of just S, you're kind of scaling it on the normals, and it's not working that way for most people. And that's because in the recent versions of Blender 2.8, since someone sent me a video, I asked for that because it's not really happening to me. I still have it. It's working fine with my version of Blender. But anyways, what I noticed is when you're scaling it with Alt S, you know, down on the left, you always get an option after an operation. For Alt S, it's called shrink fatten. Yeah, that's a weird way to put it. But anyways, shrink fatten. And when you click on it and you see all of the options, there's an option called offset even, right? And by default, for me, it's unchecked, right? But for the newer versions of Blender, it seems to be checked, and that's the reason it's not working the way it works in the video. You simply have to uncheck it. So anyways, hopefully that made sense. But yeah, so these little things, that's why I'm not doing tutorials right now, and I'm kind of waiting for Blender 2.8 stable to come out. So I'll be making more tutorials, don't worry about it. But anyways, you know, this channel has a lot of different kind of content, all related to art and specifically character art. So I'll always have content for you guys, no worries. Moving on, right before I end this video, I'd like to talk about a course that I'm planning. Well, I'd really like to talk about it, but I can't because there isn't really much to say other than I have a course planned. No, seriously though, go check out my YouTube community posts, the latest ones. If you don't know what that is, just go to my channel and somewhere you'll find the word community. So just click on it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Basically, I am planning a character course. So I put it to vote, and a good amount of people voted for the course, which is pretty cool. You seem interested, and I haven't done one for a while. So yeah, I'm excited to do it, but I still want to keep the habit of posting regular videos on YouTube. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to finish the course, because I'm really at the early stages. I only have the idea down. I also had the character done, actually. I did sculpt the character, but I still didn't kind of write down how I'm going to go on creating the course. It's a weird, I'm doing it in a very weird way. But basically, I sculpted a full character. It's a superhero, kind of a fan art, a very stylized version of Daredevil. Yeah, exciting. I know, one of my favorite TV shows, by the way. It's amazing. You have to watch it. But anyways, yes. So I will cover the sculpting pretty much real time from A to Z for the sculpting. That's the plan. And the sculpting is already done, but I plan to sculpt it separately and to put the commentary separately as well, not at the same time. And the reason I'm doing this is because if I'm talking while sculpting a full character, the video is gonna get too long and there'll be a lot of unnecessary information in between, because, you know, I have to concentrate on creating the character and explaining what I'm doing. So instead, I created the character first, and then I'll go through it and explain everything real time, as if I was talking while I'm sculpting. But that way it'll be a lot more effective, because I'll plan out what I'm going to say so that I deliver important information instead of just talk like I am talking in this video. Basically, you can see how it gets really long, and important information, you know, I could have said it in a much shorter video. So that does add up to the work, because I'll have to go back through like the whole sculpt and kind of plan things out. Which part I'll talk about, what will I teach, that kind of stuff. But I think it'll make for a much better course for you guys. So anyways, once I finish talking about the sculpting and I cover that part on that course, I plan to do some extra bonus tutorial videos. Again, nothing set in stone, but stuff like tips on retopology. I probably won't go through the retopology itself, the process, because that would probably be a different course. I mean, that's a whole different thing, but I will go through tips and explain a few things so that you can retopologize for basic movement, or for basic posing at least, right? Maybe I'll show some stuff, I don't know yet, right? And then I'll show you how to, I don't know, rig the character real fast for posing, create a material for the character, probably not texture, just material, because I created a really cool material for the character that looks awesome without any texturing, which I was trying to go for that, basically, because again, you know, a course that covers everything, if you have a course that's covering every single aspect, it'll either be a 100-hour course, which is really big and it'll be too expensive for most people to afford, which is not my plan, or it will be missing a lot of information. So instead, I'm planning to focus on the sculpting aspect of creating the character, to kind of show you how to create characters in general, show you my process, show you how to create your own fan art, but in a very, very stylized way. By the way, it's I'll show you when I have things planned out. I'll show you the character. He's looking really cool. So anyways, so that's the main focus, and then there's this secondary focus of the course where it's kind of like bonus tutorials, right? How to some methods for retopologizing, you know, how to create the lighting, the materials to get some really cool rendering, maybe some compositing in Blender, composition, you know, color correcting, that kind of stuff. Anyways, so I think I've said enough for the course, especially since nothing is set in stone. Like I can't say that enough, you know. So don't take this word by word. A lot of things might change with time, and again, I don't know when I'm going to release the course. I feel like I'm talking to myself, because at this point I'm pretty sure that most of you guys are not listening anymore. But if you are, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know that you actually watched the whole video. That would be interesting to see. I'd love to see how many people actually ended up watching the whole video. But yeah, so there's that. Like the video. If you liked the video, to show me that you liked the video, if that makes sense. Share the video with your friends. They'll probably hate you for it, because this video does not make sense, but share it anyways. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. By the way, a lot of you guys have been telling me that sometimes you don't get notified when a video comes up. That's normal. It's the way the algorithm works and stuff. It's a bit complicated to get into how it works, without making this video another hour longer, so let's not do that. But instead, let me just say this: if you're subscribed to a lot of channels, you know, you're not gonna get notified on every video that comes out, which is normal. What you can do though is hit that bell beside the notification subscribe button, I think, I don't know, but yeah, you can hit that bell, and once you do that, well, I'm guessing you'll be notified 100% when I release a video. But only do that if you want to watch every single video I'm posting, basically, because otherwise you'll get notified on every video I post, even like this one, and then you're gonna hate me for it. But anyways, yeah, so that's it for this video, for this really weird not podcast video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the sculpt in the background. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome character sculpts and art related videos. You can also check out my store for full courses on character sculpting, texturing, materials, brushes, and more. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, then you will definitely enjoy the next one.